Do you remember the 21st night of September when T-Bar, Mason, Slapjack unmasked Retribution on Monday Night Raw, the go-home show before Clash of Champions? This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Raj Giri, Justin LaBar. Matt Morgan will be here shortly. We saw him before, folks. He's really going to be here. He's just charging up his phone a little bit. So much to unpack tonight. Retribution, T-Bar, Slapjack, Mace.
T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack.
I want code names.
And they're offered contracts. They were like blowing up like stuff outside of the Performance Center a couple months ago. And instead of trying to arrest these guys, they got offered contracts. So from just a logic standpoint, a lot of stuff wrong with tonight's show.
What was the most illogical in your opinion?
That they were offered contracts. That Retribution, after months of vandalizing their property and like sawing, taking a chainsaw to the ring ropes and chasing after announcers, and they're offered contracts.
Here's what I want to know: we didn't even know who these jokers were. We had all this elaborate security to try to track them down. How did I mean, now we know their real names. Now we know enough information to get their lawyers to sign a contract. Where did that come from? Like, the only way that this can ever at all work, and it's a very thin line if it can happen, is if, obviously they have to be in cahoots with somebody high up in the company. Again, I know I go back to the Triple H theory, but what other, and even the commentators sold it. They said, how do they get contracts? How do they get contracts?
I mean, if they did something like that, that would definitely help justify it. But do you really think they will? I mean, how often are we waiting for something good to come, in storyline, and it just never does? It just fades away.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to say something.
This is like if Occupy Wall Street protesters got offered jobs as investment bankers. Like, that's how much sense this makes. This is like Antifa getting jobs on the police force. Going, well, we like the cut of your jib. I think you got some things to say. Come aboard. Here's a rifle.
Yeah.
What was
that being said, I didn't find it as boring, Raw tonight as, I was kind of curious where they're going to go. Dabba-Kato and Braun Strowman, I was curious with that. Of course, they just destroyed him. He was the one guy I felt like in Raw Underground that kind of had a name coming out of that concept.
Me too.
Yeah, and then they just destroyed him. But yeah, outside of that, it wasn't hard to sit through, I guess, even though a lot of it was really dumb.
Yeah. There was a lot of headlines from the creative department of like, okay, here's some big things happening, some big movement, but it's like then we can go into it. Okay, was it smart or was it stupid booking?
Yeah. Garris Plowman with the $2.99 super chat saying, "Heal Matt Morgan tonight, please. It's a mile better than Raw."
I was freaking firing it up Friday.
Yeah, you were. Man, and the great thing, I was telling Raj just off there, I was like, Raj, he was yelling at people for sending in super chats and giving them money, and then they were giving more money to like mess with Matt back. So I'm like, maybe he's brilliant.
Yeah, you've got the reverse psychology thing going.
Dude, they're not entertained by it. I'm telling you, when wrestling sucks, I know I've got to turn it up when we're on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And just with that, right away, Brett Murphy with the $6 super chat saying, "Non-breaking news, the men's tag division still sucks." Neo Akira saying, "And the drinking game begins." Justin Lopez saying, "They didn't even have to say they were given contracts because they all came from NXT, so they already had contracts. We obviously know that's Mia Yim." Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense storyline-wise. Is just saying.
Justin Lopez should be writing for them, Raj.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez tonight looked fantastic. The other three guys looked like jabrones out there in their weird bootleg Bane masks, the dude in the hockey mask.
Yeah.
They looked lame.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's weird about this is that I would have almost agreed with Justin on that point if they were eventually going to be unmasked and you say, oh, that's Mia Yim or oh, that's Dominik Dijakovic, but they're giving them these ridiculous names as if it's like a whole new character for them.
Right.
So like Dominik Dijakovic's not going to be Dominik Dijakovic. He's going to be T-Bird or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
Now,
T-Bar. It's not T-Bone. It's T-Bar.
Oh no, T-Bird was in the Crow. That's right. T-Bird was part of the group that was going after the Crow.
Right.
T-Bird is from Greece.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
T-Bird. T-Bird, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes. I mean, now growing up, the original American Gladiators had cool names like Nitro and Laser. G.I. Joe had Gung Ho, Snow Job, Torpedo, Blowtorch. Like, these things were cool back then. I don't know as a grown man that I'm really excited to watch Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace. It just seems kind of silly, and that's saying something when I'm talking about professional wrestling, let alone Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. This feels like a very Spirit Squad-ish thing. Like it's going to be a short-term thing, and then they're going to have to repackage everyone involved. Because I can't see T-Bar being this, Dijakovic's name a year from now. I hope not, for his sake.
Well, and then so what's the explanation? Will we eventually, or maybe do we ever even get the identities? Because Dijakovic looks like he shaved his head. So maybe this isn't going to be an unmasking. Maybe this is just these guys represent all the pissed off wrestlers that have felt shorted, and that's why you have this army of other people that never get unmasked, because it's just supposed to represent the army of people we could associate with them, of disgruntled former talents, I guess. Like they're not all going to get unmasked.
Justin, you want this to work out so badly.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I'd rather. I don't want to sit here and waste time watching something that's going to fizzle out in 3 weeks. I'd like them to actually do something cool. I'd like with this whole thing, if they got contracts, well, how the hell did they get contracts? Kind of like how Eric Bischoff was the one behind the NWO. Like, I'd like there to be a aha moment.
Right.
I have every week that goes by, my hope gets less and less. But
But do you think Triple H is backstage thinking like, "Oh, I got to get in on this. Please put me in this angle. Make me the big reveal. What's my code name going to be?" Like, I don't think, I could see Vince wanting that. If I'm Triple H, I want to run as far away from this as possible.
Well, I do wonder what it means for so that's obviously Mia Yim and obviously Mercedes Martinez, both of whom are regularly still appearing on Wednesday nights as those characters on NXT. So is that going to stop, or are they going to continue this double life right now?
Well, Mercedes, they kind of wrote her off a couple weeks ago when she was fired from the Robert Stone brand, and I think Mia Yim also has kind of been phased out. So, Shane Thorne had been one of the guys. He wasn't. I don't think that was him this week. That was it Slapjack?
Smiling.
So yeah, Slapjack. So I'm pretty sure that wasn't Shane Thorne. I'm not sure if someone is just filling in for Shane Thorne until he can appear or not.
Well, and the other big guy was the guy that used to be an announcer, right? Dio Madden.
Yeah, Dio Madden.
Yeah. Think hockey mask guy should be thanking his lucky stars he doesn't have to show his face with this.
Yeah.
Why?
Because we don't know who he is. He won't be tainted by this forever.
He's not getting any on him, Matt.
There we go. Okay, gotcha.
Matt, if you had to choose, you'd be like, can I wear like a hood or something? Do we got a GIMP mask? Is there something I could do here to not have to show my face on TV in this gimmick? Chrono Shaw, $5 super chat saying 4-man booth. Much love, guys. By the way, being the elite better than Raw. Silver impersonating Brody equals gold. Brody telling Silver to fall down for Sue and Sue doing voodoo. Apparently being the elite's good this week.
It always is when John Silver's on it.
Matt loves John Silver.
Love him.
Matt's nominating John Silver for Best Actor at the next Oscars.
He's amazing.
Our friend from China is saying Retribution looks like Nintendo's Double Dragon bad guys. It is similar. There is that heavy vibe there. Although Double Dragon was so cool for like a year.
Yeah,
awesome. Tina Miller, $2 saying, here to count how many times Matt says who cares.
Surprised we haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. Escobar Furious Senior, thank you for the $2 super chat.
Thank you.
Tammy throwing some shade at Mia Mercedes, saying they have carnival face paint. Who's buying them as badasses? You know what makes them look like badasses? They're standing there with the other three schmucks. Yeah. That's what makes them look cool.
That being said, their outfits were much better this week. They gave him different gear.
They were.
Dijakovic, he's basically got cosplaying as Bane, but they looked much better then because later. I mean, we'll go through this segment, but when the ninjas came in, they brought them down. I feel like they should just keep it to that 5. Because the ninjas just all of a sudden make it look like a job group.
They're not ninjas.
But you know what I mean.
They're Akira Tozawa's thing. And the foot soldiers, as it were.
Yeah. They wear the same thing as the ninjas.
It's an upgrade over just the black ski mask, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Matt Morgan here in... I'll go to Matt last because he's chewing. Justin LeBar, year 2020, Monday Night Raw. What's your Retribution code name?
Jeez. Pressure.
Yeah, right? I had no time to think.
I want to be T-Bone. No. Mad Dog Morgan.
Hey, you're Jay Barr, right?
I'm
Jay
Jay-
Barr works for Justin.
Jay Barr.
Yeah.
Jay Brown.
And Raj is Slapnuts.
No, he's Raj back.
Hey, they probably own the trademark for that, for Slapnuts, don't they? They probably renewed
I'm
that.
sure they did.
Well, for me, I'm selling out. And my Retribution code name is going to be the sponsor of tonight's episode, which is Manscaped. Manscaped, fellas. 2020 has made it hard for us to stay hygienic as we should be. Luckily, our partners at Manscaped have made it easy to turn your bathroom into your own private, I can't believe I'm going to read this, your own private dong salon. It sounds exotic, right? Kind of classy. Manscaped is on a mission to change the grooming game with their below-the-waist grooming and hygiene products. And hey, they're going international, baby. They're worldwide. They just released their products in the UK, Canada, and Australia. I've heard us talk about this before. Raj trying to tame his hairy chest. Justin trying to deal with the jungle like he's got Sam Roberts poking out of his shorts. Me trying to use the force to navigate around my fat stomach. And worrying about cutting myself. Manscaped makes that a thing of the past because they have this ceramic blade, this thing that reduces nicks, reduces cuts, makes it so much safer to trim yourself with this Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. This ceramic blade is replaceable. It's got the advanced skin-safe technology, helps you reduce grooming accidents. It's waterproof as well. They also just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, the perfect add-on to their lawnmower, which is great. Used to keep my nails trimmed, clean, looking like $1,000,000. And if you order their perfect package, it also comes with 2 free gifts and liquid formulations to help complete your trimming and grooming routine. Now, these formulations are cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, so you know you're in good hands. And they've also got that crop reviver and spray-on toner to keep you feeling fresh, in addition to what you can do with your grooming there. They even have foot duster foot deodorant, which is so good you can reduce the odor of even the dirtiest feet. We've got a deal for our audience.
How gross.
Reducing foot odor? You're pro foot odor, Matt?
Just in general. Just never mind. I don't have foot odor.
You know, the people that talk about how they don't have odor are normally the people that smell the worst. You ever get that, Raj, the guy that you hang out with, and he's like, my gas doesn't smell, and it's like, dude, your gas is worse than anyone else's.
Listen, Farts McGee and skid marks. I am guessing that that's not always true. I think that's
Matt Morgan's totally one of those guys.
I did get one of those sprays, the foot spray you're talking about. It does smell really good though, for what it's worth.
Yeah, you know, especially if you're wearing flip-flops, like, you know, when it's warm outside in the summer and the fall, it definitely helps.
I just want to tell everybody to take a shower. If you take a shower, use some soap, clean your feet, you won't have a problem.
It's at the end of the day. You know what I've had to do, and this is what made me I like washing my feet in the sink. I think their foot duster, foot deodorant is fantastic. But hey, here's the deal. When you use the code, our special code, INC at manscaped.com, you're going to save 20% off, plus get free shipping. And if you love your package, you're going to love Manscaped. Go to their site, hit a few buttons on your phone. It'll change your life for the better. And again, to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with our code INC, upgrade your grooming game. And now, Manscaped worldwide, baby. UK, Canada, Australia, USA. Everyone can get in on this. Manscaped.com, code INC. Save that 20%, get free shipping. We thank them for sponsoring the podcast. So much to unpack tonight. Yes.
Use this. You can use this as body spray. It smells very good. It's called the Reviver.
Yeah.
Everywhere Matt Morgan goes, people are like, what's that smell? Matt's like, I'll never tell.
It smells so good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Why do you keep that in your car?
Because my car smells of this.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Plus, it's Florida. I mean, dude, it's just like swamp, but they're like
when I'm going to
365
meetings and
days
stuff, you got to smell good.
It's true. It's true. You do. I'm not reading that super chat, Mike Gorman. Screw you. Wolfbane, thank you for that $1 super chat. Dustin Eck, $20. So glad I picked up shifts Monday nights. No more wasting hours of my life watching boring Raw. And LOL, Did you hear Sony Janela's new tag team name? The new Midnight Express. No shade to the OG Midnight Express. They're trolling Cornette. I read about that drama. Have you been covering that, Raj?
I mean, they're just trolling him. I mean, they don't own the name to the new Midnight Express. Joey Janela just tweeted out that they got approval to use the new Midnight Express as a way to mess with Jim Cornette, who hates them. So Janela saying him and Sonny Kiss have got it. He tweeted out a graphic. Jim Cornette's lawyer replied saying he's sending a cease and desist. So over an image on Twitter. So.
Jim Cornette lives for this stuff. Thomas Stinson, $4.99. Raw Underground was better than the whole show this week. Then how is the Hurt Business babyface and heel in one show?
Right.
Yeah. Let's get to that.
So let's talk about it. So we opened with Retribution, who are under contract, cutting this promo out there. Thank God they didn't open with the code names. We didn't get the code names till the main event tonight. But what is there to say? You know, they're there. They're talking about the talent, their $1,000 suits, living like fat cats high on the hog. And they were confronted by the Hurt Business, MVP Shelton, Cedric Alexander, and Bobby Lashley. They charged the ring. And this set up the main event for later in the night. The first time we're going to see Retribution in action. But then we had a number one contenders triple threat for the Raw tag team titles. And this was Andrade and Angel Garza versus Seth Rollins and Murphy, with Dominic Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo as well in this match. And the takeaway from it is that the new number one contenders are Andrade and Angel Garza. Matt, are you excited to finally see Andrade and Angel Garza have a match against the Street Profits? We've never seen this before. For the first time ever, these two teams are going to face at Clash of Champions. Matt's muted.
You're muted, Matt. 1 second.
This feels fresh, obviously, right? Yeah, very much, definitely. You know what? If I didn't have the WWE Network, I would purchase it just for this match.
But here's the weird part:
folks, you ready? Yeah. Who cares? There we go. Who cares? Nobody.
We're 5 months of them basically being, wrestling every other week on Raw. This has been going on since WrestleMania. The Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza, and then they split Garza and Andrade up last week, and then they're just magically back together again. So I guess they fought last week, but since Zelina Vega's not there, they could be a team again. This just seems like they're flying by the seat of their pants and going week to week, week by week.
Yeah, the Street Profits entrance, it was their entrance to go do commentary. They weren't even wrestling. Their entrance is entertaining because they have so much energy and it makes you smile. After that, couldn't care. After that, nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
Even though they beat Humberto Carrillo all the time, and even though it would have been a babyface versus babyface match, I was hoping that Dominic and Humberto would win. It gives Dominic something to do. It gets him more experience being in a tag team, splitting the load with Humberto Carrillo. I thought that could be a cool choice, but
Humberto's so cringe though, and I think Dominic's actually had a pretty good showing these first few outings he's had, looking tough in these matches with Seth, their buddy or whoever. I think Humberto's just so he's like
you bring him down.
He's like 1996 Rocky Maivia cringe. He's just so awkward.
He's like Prince Iakea.
Somebody's jealous of those dimples, Sunglabar. No, I think here's what I don't get is that this seems perfectly set up to have Shinsuke and Cesaro take on the Street Profits, potentially merging the tag titles, give us a real cross-brand tag division, and instead they're just retreating to the same match we've seen what feels like 100 times at a pay-per-view that already feels non-essential. Third pay-per-view in basically 4 weeks that we're getting this Sunday. Kind of nuts.
And it's been a while since the last pay-per-view, so those last two were 1 week apart, and then this one was spread out a little more, so... Yeah.
Monopoly Man with a $5 super chat saying, what in the hell are they doing to Mickie James and Natalya? WWE is screwing both legends. We'll talk about that tonight. Yeah. It's interesting the treatment they're getting. Black Saw Johnny Hex $4.99 saying, just woke up. Raw I'm not a fan of anymore. I like SmackDown better. SmackDown feels like a vacation compared to Raw, which feels just like
it does. It's so easy to watch. It's so easy to watch, and it's fun to cover.
And Roman and Bayley are just really they're really making that show. They're making that show super entertaining. And Sasha.
Definitely.
I agree. So after that tag match, we had Hype's Night for Dabba-Kato and Braun Strowman. We had, tonight. Oh, we had a lot of Retribution backstage. So it was interesting. They got so much face time tonight. They had them attacking and cutting promos. But then we had Kevin Owens for the KO show with Shane McMahon as the guest, who brought out Dabba-Kato, who brought out Braun Strowman for them to hype their Battle of the Behemoths in the Raw Underground tonight. And then after they faced off and got into it, we saw Aleister Black attack Kevin Owens. So they're keeping that feud going. What'd you think of this, Matt? Are you excited still for Owens and Aleister?
No. And these are both individual talents that I was fans of, I'd say about a year ago.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens slightly longer, maybe a year and a half ago. You know? I don't get it. Why do our screens keep blinking? Do you guys see that?
No.
No.
Sorry. But it's another one of those situations, in my opinion, where both talents need wins.
Yeah.
And they booked themselves into a corner, it feels like.
And there's no story. Why did Aleister Black even attack Kevin Owens when he came back?
Do we fully know why he's a heel?
No. And in one week he has an eye patch on, the next week it's off. Like, does he have a right eye or not? I mean, just just get that part down.
I just felt they randomly took him and just ripped his eyeball out. Just randomly the day of the show. Hey kid, we're messing up your eyeball. Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, you're gonna be wearing a patch next week. We'll figure it out next week. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing that Aleister Black's back to being heel, because again, I hated when he was running out there pounding around with Humberto, whoever he was pounding around with.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's a heel again. But yeah, we don't have any reason. The other thing that drives me nuts, and I think I said this last week, but I'm going to say it again, is it's been months since Aleister Black has made an entrance on TV, and he arguably had the most creative, different looking entrance, except for the Fiend. He had the most interesting, different entrance, and every time he comes out now, he's sneak attacking. Why are they? I don't understand that.
I agree. And in that Thunderdome, they could do some cool stuff with his entrance.
Yeah,
they need more of that on Raw. I mean, on
Yeah.
SmackDown you got the Fiend and Roman, but Raw you don't have those cool entrances. So
You have the ability to be really imaginative with this place, and they're not doing it on the entrances as much as they should be.
yeah,
No, their biggest thing they've added to the entrances is they have a drone camera that occasionally will go side to side of the Thunderdome, but that's it. But yeah, Aleister Black, you could have all kinds of crazy stuff with him rising up.
yeah.
I agree.
And then the other thing with Dabba-Kato in this, you could tell he's not quite ready. He seemed very nervous out there, like just not composed. But it was his first time in the ring, I guess, on Raw.
Chris Went, $5, saying because of their gear, you would think that Garza and Dominic were tag partners. Black saw Johnny Hex saying Raw's like solitary confinement, SmackDown's a paradise vacation, and KMU offering the theory that SmackDown's actually a pro wrestling show. I like backstage drama. I've said this before, I like it to be like the Muppet Show, a show about a show. And this Retribution thing is just so dumb. It makes no sense.
That's the one thing SmackDown got really lucky is that they don't have the Retribution stuff on there anymore. Like, they just moved it specifically to Raw.
I wonder if Roman and Paul were like, no.
Right. Yeah.
Terry Allen Jr., 5'11", ambulance match is the wrong stipulation, could be dull. Previous time we saw it was Ryback versus John Cena at Payback 2013. Wow, that long ago.
Yeah.
So to that end, tonight we had Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee. This was supposed to finish what happened last week with deciding if that Keith is going to fill in for Drew at Clash of Champions if he's not medically clear. But wouldn't you know it, Randy Orton interfered once again, causing a DQ. So this is going to be a triple threat, right?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, they would have changed it.
No.
I would think they would have changed it tonight if they were going to. This is the go home show, the go home Raw, and this is the Raw main event. So
You don't think on Raw Talk right now this isn't being mentioned, or tomorrow on social media?
plus they made Keith Lee look kind of bad. I thought, like,
Yeah,
not
what was
only
the
is
stat
he
tonight?
taken out, he's taken out by the Claymore kick. He's about to get beat for the third week in a row. The two previous weeks, Randy Orton, hit him with an RKO, had Keith Lee beat. I think they're just doing a bad job with Keith Lee. Yeah. They
was
should
the
be
stats
giving this
tonight?
guy some wins. He's only won one match on Raw so far by pin.
He doesn't have to be married to Orton. He doesn't have to be married to any of these people.
Yeah.
Like, just let him wrestle a J-Bro and crush him week after week after week. We like him enough to watch him wrestle by himself. We don't care who the scrub opponent is. We don't.
Yeah, and the one thing is, most of the people that watch Raw don't watch NXT. They're not familiar with Keith Lee, so they shouldn't just act like the Raw audience is familiar with him. Get this guy some wins, get him some momentum, do the stuff you've been doing forever, and then you just stop doing like in the last 15 years when you make stars. And they still did it. With Braun Strowman, he had a ton of momentum because they were giving him all those wins and squashes. And
he's
then,
the only one that they did this right with, actually, when they brought him in. Into a singles act. Braun, and I would say, what's her name? Nia.
Yeah, Nia.
That's it. I can't name anybody else that they did this right with.
Yeah.
Well, with Orton, the fact, so Orton doesn't beat Drew at SummerSlam, but they decide to put Orton in the title match again for the next pay-per-view, and it's a stipulation match. I mean, Raj, do you think that Orton could win this? Or like, why have Orton's been doing such good work? Why have him lose two pay-per-views in a row in this title match?
As soon as I heard ambulance match, I'm like, Orton's winning, because it gives them a way to someone interferes, attacks Drew, and you kind of get the title off of him without really beating him. He's not pinned, he's not submitted. So that's what I think. I think they're gonna change the title, and then maybe Drew gets it back. The Thunderdome contract is up next month, and they're talking about holding these shows at outdoor locations. So maybe they want to have Drew regain it when they're back in front of fans.
I could buy that.
Blacksaw Johnny Hacks, $9.99 super chat saying, I can't believe how corny that eye for an eye match was. They should have hired Tom Savini for it. At least you would have made it look better than someone in WWE. I feel like the eye for an eye match is really when like the Raw roster just really felt like that was the turning point into just unwatchableness.
Yeah, that's when they're like, we need to do the Thunderdome because we're going downhill quick.
Yeah. Payam Yusuf, $4.99. Retribution's a recycled budget shield. Hot garbage. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. All I kept thinking of tonight was, remember the Ascension? Remember Sanity? Like, this just feels like another attempt to do this gimmick that's never gotten over. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
There's probably something there. They're just not doing it correctly. So we got another super chat. Johnny Hex following up to say he meant eye for an eye. They should have hired Tom Savini for it. Yeah, they didn't really do special effects. I mean, we saw Ray holding the
Well, they did. They cut it out, so we never saw it. But they tried to do it. I guess it looked so bad that Vince decided to nix it.
Combo Breaker, $1.99. I dare you to say something nice about Retribution. Matt Morgan, go.
I got nothing.
Justin LeBar.
At least they don't look like they're robbing a 7-Eleven.
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
The five main ones, at least.
Their outfits were better this week instead of the ninja outfits.
I did like when Jerry Lawler said T-Bar. That stands for That Boy Ain't Right. I don't know if that's putting him over, but that's funny. That's legitimately funny. It's the funniest thing Lawler said in a while.
Because that was probably the first time Lawler heard that name's going to be. He didn't go to any production meeting.
Right.
Tina Miller, $5, saying Raw's either goofy or a hamster wheel. Oh, and thanks for watching her DDPY video, Matt, that she tweeted.
Yes.
Very inspirational story.
Yeah.
Video?
Tina Miller kicks ass at DDPY, if you guys don't know this. Those of you fans on here that watch the show, you all contribute. You all know Tina. We all know each other by now. Get on her Twitter. Watch some of her work that she's done with DDPY. She's gotten in insanely good shape, but she's also like an instructor on it as well, which is pretty impressive.
And I just retweeted it, so if you go to my Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein, you can check that out there. Thank you, Tina. And again, congrats on all that weight loss and getting in great shape. Travis Huffman.
I will not retweet it. I have a huge following, and I will collect money for my retweet. No, I'm just joking. Continue. I'm just joking.
Super tweets.
Travis Huffman, $5, saying, think I gotta watch Monday Night Football instead. Raw's unwatchable. SmackDown's okay. At least AEW is entertaining. WWE is an all-time low. Hashtag T-Bar.
I think Travis Huffman literally just summed up all my thoughts tonight, except I wasn't able to watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah. T-Bar, it's too easy to call him Teabag. I mean, isn't that kind of like
Is Is that what we're taking from his comment there? I'm like, he's right though. Raw sucks. SmackDown is okay, and AEW is the most entertaining of the shows, I think.
SmackDown can be. It depends on the week. I feel like it goes between AEW and SmackDown.
Hey, a really good Roman Reigns segment and whatnot. Yes, I agree with that. Or Bailey.
And for your tea bag, use our sponsor Manscaped.com, promo code INC to save 20% and get free shipping. Tea bag. You wait for that now, Raj? It took you like half an hour in the podcast to drop tea bag? Anyhow, so let's talk about Randy Orton cut that promo tonight. Yeah, I think Randy's winning this match. I thought that promo was pretty good tonight.
Orton shows this the level of difference between him cutting a promo and everyone else on the show. He's just he just feels like a main event guy, like a huge star.
And I will remind everybody thought he was boring to watch and boring to listen to on promos. I'll remind everybody this.
For a time, he was.
He's motivated this year. He's like unlike anything we've seen in a while.
Yeah, the biggest knock I think to Randy Orton was just that by the time he got to like age 30, he had accomplished everything. So it was kind of like, well, what else is there for him to do? You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
But now, I mean, yeah, he at 40 or whatever the hell he is, he looks as best as he ever has. He's speaking as best he ever has. He everything's got a purpose, and it's great.
And that is Matt's point. I mean, Matt has been saying for years that Orton is one of the best when he's on.
Yes. He's the most naturally talented wrestler. Like, I'm telling you, bar none. The fastest. Everyone always gives Kurt Angle the credit for picking up the business the fastest, and it's true. But Randy has the most natural talent ever. It's second nature to him.
And I think, I mean, coming off that feud with Edge, he had definitely an intensity. He was at the top of his game. But I think, honestly, like, Drew just isn't quite rising to the occasion, rising to the challenge. And the lack of fans probably hurt Drew more than anyone.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the baby faces, the baby faces obviously are the ones that are harmed the most by an empty arena situation. So that makes sense that.
And Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Black Star Johnny Hex 999 saying, "Can we all admit this year's Ben Jumanji?" Something like that. So let's talk about this number one contenders match tonight: Zelina Vega versus Mickie James. Now, I like Zelina Vega a lot, but Matt, did you find it believable that she won tonight clean and beat Mickie to become the new number one contender to face Asuka at Clash of Champions?
I love Vega. She's a friend, but no.
Have you had breakfast with her before? Have you spent time on the road? You know her coming up?
Yeah.
Pen pals, you give her a friendship bracelet?
No, she's been in my car multiple times on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, when she was Rosita, and she
Sorry, Matt, that just went right over your head, considering the shtick you were doing Friday night.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. My bad. Yes. Oh my God. This one time at band camp. No, I'm just joking. I know what you're talking about, Glenn. My bad. I totally missed that lob. Continue. I'll get it next time.
Okay. So no, I think.
But I don't think Zelina Vega beating Mickie James is more unbelievable than when Alexa Bliss would beat her.
But you don't think not because of her size or anything like that. I think it's more. You just continue to watch Mickie James get punked out. And mistreated, I think, is what I mean more.
Oh yeah.
And like, what are you guys doing? Give her a bunch of wins. And then build, get her back to where she normally was as an upper echelon talent, and then put over one of your younger talents that really needs a big pay-per-view angle and win out of this, and just kill her.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a Shayna or someone like that, or
right.
Someone you're building up. Yeah.
When Mickie came back in 2016, she beat Becky. She was aligned with Alexa. Alexa had some credible wins. Then when Alexa beat Mickie, it really meant something. In this case, Mickie came back.
Right.
And she's had almost nothing.
And I thought it was weird too that they chose to go ahead and show the botched ending of last week. So when I see them show it, I'm like, okay, great. They're actually going to lean into this. But they didn't just completely gloss through it. Like they just said, Mickie got a loss. The referee called for the bell, and then I was looking. I'm like, all right, they're going to have the same referee out here again this week for the match against Vega, or they're going to make something of this. Why else would they highlight it? And then nothing. Yeah. That seemed awkward to show their own mistake with no reason for it.
Yeah. So I mean, good for Zelina. I think Zelina is definitely a future superstar, and for as much time as she's had on TV, it's nice to see her wrestling.
She's great.
Yeah, and this was an okay match. So yeah, we're gonna have Zelina versus Asuka at Clash of Champions. Went backstage. We had the Hurt Business fighting more with Retribution. We had a vignette for Bianca Belair, so a little like soft relaunch tonight, showing her in the gym.
That was pretty cool.
It was good.
It kind of reminded me of the. Do you guys remember the Mr. Perfect vignettes back in the day?
Yes.
It's kind of like that. There was some guy in the gym, and then everything he's doing, she's doing better. It was pretty cool.
Casual fan or no fan, Gage, my wife was actually in the room when that was going on, and she stopped what she was doing and watched like the whole vignette, and she was like, all right, that chick's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, that works. See?
Yeah,
They
just
just
need
need
better
to find
vignettes they've done in a while, I thought.
It's a good barometer. Wives are good barometers.
Yeah.
So I think this was the high point of tonight. R-Truth and Akira Tozawa at the beach.
Ugh.
And there was a shark, and the shark may have eaten Akira Tozawa, but R-Truth fought the shark and
you
got the
kidding me?
24/7 championship back.
Like, seriously. Did we really see that?
I like a good Jaws homage. So
Think about this. They actually spent
Thank you.
time traveling to a beach with a camera person, and they had some extras at the beach. They actually spent time filming this and then editing it. And then they went, you know what? It's going to be in segment 7 tonight.
I don't get
That
it.
actually happened.
Okay, so part of me wants to applaud them. I can't believe I'm saying this, for trying to do something different, for leaving the damn facility and trying to be creative. This is not the creativity I want, though. This was rotten.
I feel like they've really been batting. What's the baseball term? Just striking out. I don't know.
Balking?
Raj is very familiar with baseball. What's the term? Striking out.
Well, I was gonna say batting 100. I don't know. Whatever really bad
Over 100.
percentages.
Over
Ball?
100.
Batting over 100. Okay, but
No.
just with these.
Over 100, sorry.
Okay.
I mean, it can't-
Most of these have been bad.
Yes. Why can't they go back to the cinematic stuff?
Yeah. Well,
even
this
their cinematic stuff has been falling too. Since the Boneyard and Firefly Funhouse, none of their cinematic stuff's really been that good.
What else have they done with? Bray Wyatt,
Swamp Fight.
Swamp Fight.
Swamp
Okay.
Fights, the stuff with the ninjas, with the Street Profits, and
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, I don't know if anything
Yeah,
could
me too.
possibly match the creativity tonight of T-Bar, Slapjack, and Mace. I mean, I think that's the peak of what WWE creative can come up with. But I don't know. I mean, this was stupid, but it was fun. It was a distraction. Razor Jam.
You think Vince came up with the names? I think that's what sounds badass to him.
probably.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's T-Bar.
I see what you did there.
Razor Jam 555 to 666. New Zealand $5. Wow. So
Yes,
that's
we
for
should.
currency.
I would much rather talk about BTE. I agree.
You want to think we just talk about being the elite and how John Silver is so amazing on that show. Matt Morgan,
is. He
how much
really is.
John Silver merch do you own? Like you're the president of his fan club.
I will wear my T-shirt on the next show. I swear to God, I have one for Pro Wrestling Tees. But most importantly, I'm the very first fan of his. I want to point this out.
Literally
That's
down
true.
since
You-
day
you-
one-ish.
You're just like Orange Cassidy. You were really
Thank
early
you,
on.
Raj. Thank you. See, I try not to brag and pat myself on the back of discovering this amazing talents out there and giving them their first rub. But I do feel a little responsible for John Silver here, folks. I really do.
Cedric Alexander versus Apollo Crews. Now Cedric got a win. What was it last week? Tonight Apollo won. What about Cedric in his promo saying he doesn't care about Apollo Crews or his kids? I was like, those shades of that Brock promo to Heath a couple of years ago.
I thought it worked. I thought, what a dick.
Yeah.
It got heat with me.
Cedric, he sounds a million times better on the mic now as a heel, and it just goes to show you they can't script for baby faces worth of crap. But
Somehow
when they
for
turn
heels.
heel, they give them all the better lines and more interesting dialogue.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta,
And it's gonna be-
you gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit too about the Hurt Business. Like I thought this might be another one of those things. Again, just a couple weeks, whatever. But they've like stuck to this the whole summer, and now these guys are like, as we joked earlier, simultaneously top baby faces against the outside invaders, and also then top heels against some of these other. It's I don't know. They've actually followed through with them.
Yeah, the only weird thing is that they're heels in this segment. They're baby faces in the beginning and then baby faces at the end. Just do the full turn. I mean, I think people want to see that. I mean, the Hurt Business, they look the part. They're badasses. And people, I'm sure most people can't stand Retribution. They want to see the Hurt Business just destroy those guys.
It always drives me nuts to see the Hurt Business in such nice suits and getting ready to fight. I always think about if I'm in my nicest suit, I don't want to get sweaty and start fighting. Girl, that shit off.
Yeah.
MVP has low-key become the MVP of Monday Night Raw since his return. Funny how that works. We saw the Raw Underground tonight. Dolph Ziggler backstage with Arturo Ruiz. Dolph getting a win tonight. I thought, as far as fights went, am I wrong? This felt like the best episode of Raw Underground because it wasn't just those quick, like, they let the fights go for a little bit. I mean, the camera cuts were still too much, but they didn't try and pack too much into them, it felt like.
I agree. I thought this Ziggler, what's his name again?
Arturo Ruiz.
Yeah. I thought this was one of the best, the better Raw Underground fights that they've done. I mean, it's pretty entertaining. I mean, Dolph makes it look believable. So does the other guy. The other guy, has an MMA background. So it looked good.
Yeah, we'll talk
for
about
what it is.
Braun versus Dabba-Kato. But first, this might have been the worst segment tonight. Tell me what you think, Matt. Seth Rollins out with the large envelope in his hand, saying that Rey Mysterio might not be Dominic's father, and he's going to reveal the paternity, and then saying, Aaliyah might not be your daughter. Like, I don't know if Seth Rollins was ever cool, but tonight is the least cool he has ever been.
This was such a rehash, and it popped up on my YouTube like a couple days ago of Eddie doing "I'm Your Poppy," Dominic. It really was.
Mm-hmm. I was like, there's no way they could go back to that angle.
And do it all over again, right? Come on.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, I was worried like they were going to have Seth say, well, it turns out that Eddie's been the father the whole time because, obviously that would be beyond tasteless. But yeah, it's like, how do you do that same angle twice? But then, yeah, he kind of shifted it to Aaliyah.
Well, yeah, the premise of what it looked like was terrible. Of like, Seth doing that, or I thought Seth was gonna say, "Oh, I'm the father" or something stupid. but
I would have been say, 6,
right? But,
yeah, seriously,
he's the holy Messiah. Anything's possible.
Right.
But I will say this: the result of where it ended, I'm okay with. The fact that they are doing this thing with Aaliyah, like where like Ray said, like she's naive, she doesn't know anything about the bit, like.
That where it backstage.
Yeah,
where I'm just a naive 19-year-old girl, Dad.
Yeah, where it ended, and then we see a segment later with her and Buddy. Like, I'm actually okay with the result. It was stupid what they had to do to manufacture to get to it, but I'm okay with the Mysterio family reality show, aspect of it.
Yeah.
Justin Lopez, $5, saying I thought Rollins was going to say Eddie's the father of both of your kids, right?
Yeah.
I think Seth Rollins is now, his paternity leave cannot happen soon enough. I tweeted, they need to send him back down to OVW, take him off TV, repackage him. I know OVW still exists, right? But no, I mean, Seth needs to get off TV and then come back as someone completely different. This is terrible.
He didn't need it. He didn't need a gimmick.
He didn't need it. Right.
He didn't need any gimmick.
They got scared and they tried to run with babyface Seth. Fans turned on him, so then he's heel in there with the Fiend. Yeah, they got scared. And
So he could have just been heel Seth with his stupid, sinister laugh, like he was when he was with
right, like Authority Seth.
Yeah, Authority. I was gonna say Corporation, but yeah.
Really, ever since the terrible Hell in a Cell ending with he and the Fiend.
Oh, that killed him.
Which was about a year ago. From that point on, it has just been downhill for him.
Yeah.
Came using this was the most awful high school drama play segment I've ever seen. Just awful and embarrassing. And
they're giving Aaliyah a lot of screen time.
But the fact that a 75-year-old man wrote the line, I am a naive 19-year-old girl, Dad.
But she was being sarcastic.
I don't think Vince McMahon has ever actually seen a soap opera. I think this is what he thinks a soap opera is.
Could be.
And is writing to that. So is she going to end up with Murphy or with Seth or what's happening?
I bet you money they don't know. They're just, but, I mean, her, that would be something interesting.
She gets abducted by T-Bar and falls in love with Slapface or whatever.
Forever now on this podcast is Teabag and Slapnuts.
I mean, I like the Mysterio family a lot. I think we all have a lot of goodwill and affection towards them and want them to do well. It's just put them in any other storyline. This is just getting so ridiculous.
And Dominic, he's been looking great for
absolutely.
his first matches ever on TV, and he's been killing it.
Bobby Burns, Buck99, saying there goes Morgan with another silver. So cool rant.
Who said that?
That was Bobby Burns.
Listen, Bobby Burns, we're not friends. You don't call me Morgan. You're not my point guard of my basketball team. Don't call me Morgan. Dork. All right, continue.
If you want to pay money for Matt Morgan to insult you, click that super chat $sign
Yes.
on YouTube.
I mean, listen to him, Morgan, like we're boys and sound like I'm high-fiving him or something. Hey, Morgan,
Every time.
come here.
Like,
come here.
even
You gotta
when
see
Raj...
this. Hey, don't cut me off. Morgan, you got to see this. Come here. Like he's, again, like a teammate on my basketball team or something.
Yes. Take a knee, Morgan. Every time.
It means when you come, you better come good.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Not
not
doing
doing
a...
you.
That's what Blue Chew says. You better come good.
Hey-o!
Evolving so much.
Sorry, Glenn.
That's fine. But if you do, use that promo code WINC for your first sample. Free. Just pay $5 shipping and handling. A friend from China, and I forgot your name. You said it the first time you gave us a super chat. I just remember the characters. Saying, $10 super chat saying it would have been more entertaining if Maury Povich did the pointless reveal. And then a good response from Ray to his daughter would have been, yeah, you're 19, he's 31. Kind of awkward with my coworkers. They could have done a lot with this. This felt like this. They literally came up with this idea an hour before showtime and just went with it.
Is Maury Povich still a thing?
Well, he's still alive, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know if it's still a thing or not.
He's still on the air, if that's what you're asking.
He is?
He is?
He is, because there was actually a thing like Raj, you might know this. It was like a year ago because Maury Povich and all of them now film out of Stanford. They used to film somewhere else. They all film. Them and Springer. They all film like in the Stanford, Connecticut area. Yeah. And there was a talk of like WWE bringing Maury in. I don't remember if it was a Lana Rusev thing. I think it was Lana Rusev. Yeah, but I think there was talk of like doing a segment with him, and like it like was ready to be done, and then something fell through.
That's right.
Maury is 81 years old.
Maury Povich is 81.
81.
No,
Justin, you may be wrong on this. You think he's still running a show?
No, he's still in the air. Maury? Yeah, occasionally I'll flick through the channels at like 1 in the afternoon, and there's always the DNA that the results are in. I think they're new episodes.
Do they have to be? Can't they just re-show the 1,000 episodes he did over like 20 years?
Yeah. I wonder.
81. 81. I know. Well, we should all be so lucky. Raw Underground tonight. We're not there yet. Okay, so after the stuff with Ray and Rollins, we had Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler versus Natalya and Lana with Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott on commentary. So this was just another excuse to make Shania Payne look dominant tonight over the competition in advance of their title match. This was okay. They put Lana through the table again after.
So Miro cuts that brass ring promo on WWE, and all of a sudden Lana goes through a table twice. That can't be a coincidence, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen WWE do that kind of stuff in the past, where they'll take stuff out on spouses and things like that. I mean, Lana just got destroyed. Never got to tag in Natalya tonight. And then put through a table for the second week in a row.
Isn't that the same?
Seems like
isn't that the same philosophy of why they're maybe dogging Mickey? Is because of what her husband said?
Yeah.
About Bruce.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bobby Burns, Buck99, saying, "Here goes Morgan with another. Don't call me that." Touche. And Leonza Duncan, welcome back, saying, "So he lied last week. He just got off work. $2 super chat. Glad you were able to make it live, Leonza."
So you called him Shania Payne? Is that new? You just came up with that?
I said that 3 weeks ago. But then Nia tweeted that the other day.
Huh?
She did. I saw it.
And she liked my original tweet. So there you go.
You know what else I heard she tweeted?
Huh.
That Bobby Burns is a dork. That's what I heard. Sorry.
The funny thing about the Nia Jax thing was, though, my notifications blew up. So this is the
Mark.
craziest shit to me, is how many people listen to our podcast or watch our podcast, because I woke up to a few dozen notifications where it's like, oh my God, Glenn, she said the thing you said. It's just like,
Oh,
it's crazy
yeah.
to me people pay attention.
And my Twitter blew up about that too. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Twitter didn't blow up.
Bobby
Bobby
Burns.
Burns. Come on, Bobby. I'm gonna make you pay more money. Like a good little Mark. Sorry.
This is just like a high-tech version of a dunk tank, basically, here tonight. What we're doing. So let's talk about this. Asuka versus Peyton Royce. So Peyton was talking trash to Asuka backstage, set up this one-on-one match tonight. And then, even though Asuka... okay, so there's a couple things to unpack here. One, Billie Kay is hanging out with Peyton Royce, so they're not a tag team. But Billie's like her hype woman.
Yeah.
Okay, I can... Yeah.
And go all in or don't do this at all. And let's see
Right.
what Billie Kay can develop into. I still think she's the bigger of the two stars, in my opinion.
Wow.
It seemed to me like after they split them up, they're like, oh, damn, we have no idea what to do with either of them as singles. So let's just undo that, Control-Z, forget that happened.
Which, okay, if they do it really quickly, I'll forgive them because I love them as a tag team. I do.
Yeah. They seem like, I mean, they play off each other well. They seem way better together than apart.
Yep.
Yeah. But here's the crazier part tonight, is that instead of Asuka getting an easy win here, they have Zelina Vega interfere and protect this. So now we'll never know who would have won. Could Peyton Royce have beat Asuka in a fight tonight? Thanks,
don't know.
Zelina Vega. Now we'll never know.
Yep.
Glenn, you know they're going to do Asuka versus Peyton Royce for the next 3 weeks based off of this. So,
Yeah.
we're going to find out who's going to win.
Tonight could have been her night, Raj.
It could have been. Freaking Zelina.
I mean, they're protecting her, so it is what it is. So a couple super chats. Luke Keyman saying the hacker could have been the leader of Retribution, taking over the screens in the arena. That could have saved it. I think that that would have actually worked pretty well.
Yeah,
me too.
he's part of Retribution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then Joey from China. There, we got his name. Remember that. Joey from China.
Joey.
It feels like for the last couple weeks, Lana's asked Vince if he's still angry, and his response was, I'm putting you through a table. Matt, when you were
I
there,
could totally see that.
did you ever have to wonder if Vince was upset with you, or based on the booking, did you have a sense of how he felt?
No, because after any segment I was on, I'd walk through the grill and I'd do this or that to him, and he would tell me.
Okay.
So I literally would always know leaving the arena what he thought of what I just did.
There was
There you go.
there's that one of those WWE 24 episodes where Kevin Owens, after his match with Jericho at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
you see that where he goes
Oh,
up to Vince
yes.
and Vince is like, "Get out of here! That was no good."
Yeah.
And just,
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I thought it was a good match. I think it was terrible, like he did.
yeah.
It was just such a hot angle, though. I think the beatdown that Owens did to Jericho after that match on SmackDown was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember right, when Owens, yeah, you're right. It was a hot angle, and when Owens came through, like Vince said something to the effect of like that wasn't what we were looking for. Like they just didn't hit the mark on whatever.
I think you say wanted it more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
could
way
see
they
that.
the way they wrote Jericho off with that beatdown, I was there live for that. That was insane to watch live. Tina Miller, $2 wants to know, Matt, have you seen the Voltron reboot? It's good.
No, but I love me some Voltron. How'd you know that, Tina Miller?
Psychic. So let's talk about Dabba-Kato versus Braun Strowman in the Raw Underground. This was the big fight, the big build. Dabba-Kato has been built as so dominant in weeks past on Raw Underground. Braun Strowman, of course, big deal, him appearing on Monday Night Raw. Looks like he's coming over from SmackDown. Maybe short term, maybe long term. But as a main event, Matt, what did you think of these two big guys going at it as a fan and purveyor of the big guy genre?
I hated it because not because I don't like seeing two big guys go and clash. I love that. But after they build Dabba-Kato a little bit longer,
Yeah.
they didn't do that. They threw him to the walls, and I don't understand the logic in any of this booking. I don't understand it.
It made no sense. He was the one name out of this whole Raw Underground that seemed like he could be something.
What did Braun get out of this? How is he any more over because of this? Is he? Because he's not.
Yeah, this just like the decision to have Retribution unadvertised have their first match tonight, which we'll get to in a second. This felt like we're scrambling for quick viewership boosts So they built in the last couple of weeks. Braun's Braun, and then they've been building Daba up, and this does no favors to anybody.
Oh.
So that's what this felt like. This felt like they were just blowing a quick wad to try to get a viewership pop.
And they pretty much buried Daba. Like, he just got destroyed. I mean, I don't think he really got anything in. At least have him do a couple of moves on Strowman, throw him down a couple times, so he gets something out of it, even though it's a loss. But they just squashed him, and this is why it just seems like WWE doesn't know how to make new stars anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where they go from here. I'm sure they'll get a rematch, maybe on Clash of Champions, maybe on the pre-show. Who knows?
I think they announced Asuka versus Zelina Vega as the pre-show match.
That's right. Yeah. Which is crazy as well. That Asuka's on the pre-show of a pay-per-view.
And by the way, I noticed on that pre-show they said all the platforms are streaming to. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all that I get. It says they're going to stream to TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. You can stream long-form stuff to TikTok? I thought that was just the music stuff.
That's what I thought.
TikTok's one of the streaming platforms.
We are too old to know the answer to this question, Justin.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm the youngest one here, and I don't even know, so.
I don't have a TikTok account.
Yeah, no way.
It's for the kids, man.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Anyhow, so let's talk about this main event tonight. Retribution versus the Hurt Business. Got T-Bar, Mason, Slapjack out there facing Cedric, Shelton, and Bobby with MVP at ringside. This was a competitive match. I'm shocked that they had this end with DQ.
And a weak DQ. A super weak DQ.
Yeah.
And, again, this shouldn't be as formal of a match as it was. Retribution's tagging in and out. They're playing no. These guys have been destroying, blowing shit up, and now they're going to hold the tag rope and wait to be legally tagged in. What? Come on! This should have just been. This should have been an ambush where they get them in the ring, and then the rest of the putty patrol comes and outnumbers them. What? Why did this? This was again blew the wad. You could have got a big deal out of the first match for Retribution. You could have got something out of this. Why would you waste it on an unadvertised situation? This was not in the preview that we ran on Wrestling Inc. today of Retribution's first match. No, that wasn't on the Raw preview. That's just a stupid decision by my part.
I thought so too. And then that DQ finish where one of the guys was attacking Lashley, and then Dijakovic came and then hit Lashley from the outside of the ring. So they were saying the illegal man hit the legal man, which happens all the time in tag matches.
Dijakovic or T-Bar, Raj?
Oh, T-bag, sorry. So, and that was the DQ, and then all the ninjas run out, and there we go. That was the end of Raw. Oh, and then Drew.
Then more Retribution members showed up. Then the locker room came out to fight them off. Drew came out. But, yeah, Randy got the best of Drew, so Randy was standing tall over Drew and a bunch of bodies at the end of the show.
Do you guys hear something in the background?
I do. I think...
Yes, static.
Hold on. Let me see who it is.
It's gone.
I don't know whose mic it is. It might be you, Matt. It might be Justin.
Me? No.
Could be.
It's me.
Okay, so here I'm going to read some super chats. With Dabakato, yes, Owens punked him out by slapping him earlier. Thank you, Justin Lopez.
That's true. Yeah, they really buried him on this show.
Dante McKillen, $4.99, saying, I think they're going for the Bully Ray Brooke Hogan TNA storyline, with Ray being like Hulk, trying to keep his daughter from the bad boy.
Yeah.
When WWE's doing TNA storylines.
But that was actually a good storyline. Bully Ray made it work. He was really good in it.
Joey from China saying, Raj, didn't you say you once used to manage Mustafa Ali? If yes, do you feel like... No, that was Nick, right?
That's Nick, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Nick used to.
You manage somebody, Raj?
No,
it was Nick.
Did.
Our managing editor. He did, in Chicago.
Yes, saying, do you think like Mustafa Ali should be in Retribution, Raw Underground, or avoid both? I think him as the hacker in Raw Underground or in Retribution would have actually made a lot of sense.
I don't care.
They have really, since he came back, they've really done nothing with him quick.
Yes. Neo Akira, $2, saying Vince just saw Mad Max Road Warrior.
Oh, with those outfits, yeah.
So that was Raw tonight.
Give
Matt
us your
Morgan.
scores.
feel like we should hold it up like judges when we're in this 4-box, you know?
Justin Labar, what do you got? 1 to 10.
I give it a 7.5.
Raj Giri.
I give it a 5, a 4 maybe.
Woo!
Wow, stiff grader. I'm gonna give it a 6. How about you, Glenn?
I'm with you, Matt. I give it a 6.
It was there. Wait, Raj, was it there?
It was there. Well, it was bad. It was more than there, but it was just bad.
Was it there? Really?
See, I'm judging it based on, again, there were at least things that like kept my interest. I then like screamed about them or critiqued them, but there were at least things I was like, okay, like this is like something's happening here. Like Ray's daughter is going to date Buddy Murphy, and I don't know. At least I don't know.
Yeah.
I had names to Retribution guys to make fun of. I was entertained in that regard.
All right.
Yeah, so Raj Giri, not Nick Hausman. Nick does a podcast with Justin Labar on the same channel.
Different channel, actually.
Different channel.
Really?
Yeah, the rest of the Wink Daily is on a separate feed.
Yes.
There you go. See, I can't keep all the Wink stuff straight, man. The Empire, the Raj Giri Empire. Okay, so what else we got, Raj, before we take this home?
We had reported last week Jeff Hardy re-signed with WWE. It's looking like his deal. Most of the new deals are 5 years, but it's looking like his is 2 to 3 years. So his is just a. It's at least 2 to 3 years. So he'll be around for a little while. And Melina is rumored to be returning to WWE. PW Insider reported that she is re-signed and should be starting soon. Melina went on Twitter and denied it. Normally, when you see a wrestler denying it, that means they're showing up soon. So, yeah, Melina. So we'll see. And Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is supposed to be coming back soon, like probably in the next week or two. So he has been out since this pandemic started, and he is reportedly on his way back.
What will his Retribution code name be?
I got nothing.
Brood.
He would be good. He'd be good in that group, actually.
Matt Morgan, if you got the call from WWE and said, Matt, we want to bring you back. We made a mistake letting you go. We think there's a bright future for you here still at this company. But by the way, you're going to be in Retribution. Do you think maybe?
44? No.
He's under a mask, so he doesn't have to like.
That's true.
He doesn't get any on him.
Matt would be like, "How's it?" To the Matt now, so you guarantee you can't tell who I am under the mask, right?
At age 44, you think I'm just no.
There's a 7-foot. Hear me out. There's a 7-foot guy who's under a mask. He all of a sudden stops doing this podcast. No coincidence. Like I think it could work. I could buy into it. Kayfabe.
If Bobby Roode joins Retribution and gets a code name, so he doesn't get the music in the entrance, which is like his most over thing.
Bobby Roode's too classy for Retribution. They've kind of went this Mad Max angle with Retribution, right? I feel like Bobby Roode's too. He's got the robe. He looks good. He's well groomed.
So what if? Let me throw. All right. So I've already thrown out the Triple H booking thing of like,
He's
okay,
well
that's
groomed.
how they got a contract.
Let's talk. He's well groomed.
Well, the other Retribution guys, they're not.
Does Bobby Roode use Manscaped?
We'll have to check. Matt, why don't you send him a text?
I know I pitched the whole Triple H thing of like, okay, there has to be an explanation of why they got the contract. How did they get it? I mean, another thing, if you want to try to give them credibility, is they were right there in the same segment Retribution was when Orton comes out again. Maybe do they help Orton get McIntyre into an ambulance? Is Orton behind this somehow? Because Orton's never been attacked by them. I'm just trying to throw out things that, like, make this something.
Right.
I don't know.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know. We got anything else?
Last thing is SmackDown ratings. It did 2.037 million viewers on Fox, so it stayed above 2 million again, which it's done ever since the Thunderdome. So they had hard competition from the Lakers game that did close to 5 million viewers, and also the news broke that night about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So
Yeah.
A lot of people, were watching the news. So overall, we'll see how it does next week. It was down quite a bit from last week. It was down 12%, but on a night with a lot of hard competition. So we'll see what it does next week. But still, SmackDown doing, has been holding on way better than Raw ratings.
There you go. So who's on Wednesday night's podcast, Raj?
Right now it's Justin and Matt. Sam can't. Sam will be back next week, and we got the issue figured out. Last week Sam wasn't able to watch both at the same time. The next time he's on, he will be able to watch both at the same time. But right now, Matt and Justin and maybe myself this Wednesday.
It's
Cool.
hard to watch both at the same time.
I don't miss it. Friday night we got SmackDown coverage. Sunday night Clash of Champions coverage. Who's here for that, Raj?
Let's discuss that real quick when we get off.
I'll be here.
Oh yeah, Glenn and Matt for sure.
Well, there you go. WWE Battlegrounds came out. Been playing that a little bit. If you like iOS games where you just pound buttons, this is the wrestling game for you. And spending $50 to unlock the whole roster. So I don't recommend.
Do they pay you for that plug?
No. I bought this with my own cash money. But if I talk about it on the podcast, I can deduct it from my taxes
There you go.
because it's work. So there you go. I bought it so you don't have to, folks. Get it on sale later. Okay, we'll see you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.